Today we're playing Pauper, One Land Spy, also known as Oops All Spells, featuring Name Sticker Goblin from Unfinity. This deck just got so much better, you're going to want to see it. What is Name Sticker Goblin? Well, that's a pretty good question. It's actually technically 5_ goblin. You can pick your favorite word to put in there. I personally like guacamole. Other people have other words they like to put in there. The names are based on the sticker sheet names. Speaking of which, on Magic Online, there's no sticker sheet. In paper, there's sticker cards that you use and you count vowels. On Magic Online, instead today, we will be rolling a die, and whatever you roll, that is the number that Name Sticker Goblin makes. So 1 through 6, you add 4, 7 through 14, you add 5, 15 through 20, you add 6 red. That is how this card works, and it checks to see when it enters the battlefield if it's still alive when the bit trigger resolves. So if your opponent has a snuff out, Name Sticker Goblin will actually make 0 mana. So there is a little bit of a drawback to this card. It's not just Seething Song, but the nice thing is, in this deck, the creature actually matters because we're playing Oops All Spells or Pauper One Land Spy, where creature count matters for our Lotleth Giant. That's what we're doing here today, and this counts creatures in our deck. The Sticker Goblin replaced Wild Cantor, so we're replacing another creature with another creature. And to supplement this, today we're playing 3 copies of Manamorphose to convert some of this red mana into double black mana that would allow us to win with Balustrade Spy into Dark Ritual, into our Dregscape Zombies, and Dread Return. If you caught my last video, you could find that in the card above. It's received 21,000 views as of this recording, which is just remarkable. Thank you to everyone that watched it. Upgrades today are Rotting Rats in the main deck, so you can discard your Dread Return or your Lotleth Giant from your hand, as well as a sideboard copy of Flaring Pain, so that way you can beat Prismatic Strands. That's what we're doing. I hope you enjoyed today's video just as much as you liked that first one. So without any further ado, let's head on in to match number 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw, and it's interesting. We have a Balustrade Spy, we have initial mana sources with Lotus Petal, but I don't actually think that this hand is a keep. Essentially, it's a mulligan to 5 already, where we don't have tons of black mana because you can't chain Tinderwalls. Tinderwall makes red, and you can't play it off another Tinderwall, so we'd have to use both our Lotus Petals to play Tinderwalls, and then we have no black mana. On top of not having any black mana, we also don't have the land out of our deck yet. Unlike Legacy, Pauper Oops All Spells plays 1 land. We have to pull that land out of the deck in order to get it to work. And we don't have any black mana to unearth our our zombies afterwards. So this is just a send back. Alright, so this hand has the Sticker Goblin in it, but it doesn't have a whole lot going on. We're going to mulligan. Guess we keep 5. We'll get rid of the zombie and Sticker Goblin. Alright, so opening up on a mulligan to 5 is not how I wanted to start this video. Alright, so I would like to mention this is actually a donation deck from our good friend Ari. Ari loves this channel, has been a supporter for a long time, and I appreciate you, Ari. Everything that you do for us, and thanks again for today's donation deck. I really do appreciate it. And Ari left it up to me to record whatever I wanted, and I wanted to record this deck today because honestly it's just super sweet and I couldn't wait to play with Sticker Goblin. Our opponent plays a Squadron Hawk. This could be bad if they discard a Prismatic Strands here. Our main deck is cold to that card. Instead they only grab 2. Alright deck, give us the land. Dark Ritual. Alright, we have to pass. Our opponent plays a Brainstorm. If we draw the land, I mean, this is just a win. So I would really like to draw the win, or at least I believe it's a win. And our opponent just keeps tapping out, which is great for us if I can manage to find the 1 land. Come on, land grant. There we go. All right, so let's go through this first so that way I'm not miscounting. Land Grant would be card number 3. Red of Flame would be 4. Dark Ritual would be 5. Lotus Petal would be 6. Are we actually short? We might be short. All right, we're going to reveal our hand. Let's just go through the motions here. It's pretty free to play the land. So, Simian Spear Guide, Rite of Flame would be the 4th card. Lotus Petal would be 5. Dark Ritual would be 6. I think I'm actually 1 mana short. That's unfortunate. And now they're going to untap with Counterspell mana. Actually, am I wrong? I might be wrong. Rite of Flame plus Dark Ritual is 5. Cabal Ritual 6. Yeah, this is a win. Because we only need 2 mana floating. Rite of Flame, Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, and now we spy, target ourselves. This will trigger, and now we bring back Dregscape Zombie, and now we dread return the Lotleth Giant, wherever that might be. There you are, my good friend. And we'll sacrifice our 3 creatures. There we go. And now they'll lose a bunch of life, and we can head on over to game number 2. The mulligan to 5 got there. Take that, Coggates. Love it. So in this matchup, they are a Prismatic Strands deck, so we want the Flaring Pain just in case. I don't mind Pyroblast. And a couple copies of Ingot Chewer. And then the Ridgeline. So that's 70 cards. That's a lot of cards. So we have to figure out what the actual game plan is here. And I know that we're supposed to be showcasing Sticker Goblin today. I think that in this matchup where our opponent has Blue Elemental Blast, it's a little bit risky in post-board games, so we're going to sideboard that out alongside the Manamorphose. I think we can also shave at least 1 copy of Cabal Ritual, and let's try a couple copies of Tinderwall. I know that we're going up to 2 lands. You could just swap with the Haunted Mire as well. I think that's actually fine. But in slower matchups, I think having 2 lands can actually be pretty beneficial. And here we're rewarded for having 2 lands with both Land Grant and our land in our hand. They play a tapped Guild Gate. Ooh, another Land Grant. Not what we wanted. However, it is a free spell that we can put to the graveyard to enable Cabal Ritual's Threshold. We're a little bit of ways away from it, but hypothetically, our opponent plays a Preordain and another tapped Guild Gate. I believe No, I don't have an initial black source here. Ooh, does that win? That might win the game. Is this a turn 2? Alright, so Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual's 4 off the Lotus Petal. Simian Spear Guide. Yeah, this is just a win. Alright, show them that they're dead. I mean, they probably already know, but Exile Spirit Guide, Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, and then we'll tap this mana. We're going to leave a black mana floating here, and we'll destroy our Ridgeline. Songs of the Dam for 1,000,000 black mana. Dregscape Zombie. Dregscape Zombie. Dregscape Zombie. And you could also do Rotting Rats. There's no punish here that I can think of, so we'll do it just for funsies. But if your opponent had a white creature in play, you'd have to worry about Prismatic Strands. We don't have to consider that here. They discard a Preordain. We can go to combat. That's free. Attack for 7. Like the good little zombie rats that you are. And then we'll dread return targeting our giant. There you are. And we'll sacrifice 3 creatures, including our rat friend. Lotleth Giant happens. They go to -8. And we're 1-0. No Sticker Goblin yet, but this deck remains very, very competitive. Just beating a top deck in the format. I'll see you in match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the play. Alright, so we've opened up a hand where it would be a turn 1 if we had the land somehow, but we don't. So we will mulligan. This hand is very good. Alright, we will keep this and bottom the Generous Ent. Play the Land Grant. Opponent probably very disappointed in their life right now. I signed up for a great Pauper League, and here my opponent is playing Land Grant into Haunted Mire. Come on. Basic Island, and now they're passing. We'll take a draw. Sticker Goblin. I mean, I think we're jamming here. Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. Play the Tinderwall. Sacrifice Tinderwall. Let's play the Sticker Goblin. So if this only made 4 mana, that would be okay. But ideally, we want it to make even more mana than that so we can play around Spell Pierce. It made 6. Beautiful. And now we will Cabal Ritual. Do you have main deck to spell? Okay, so they're dead. Beautiful. And now we will Balustrade Spy. Target ourselves. Let's bring back Rotting Rats. See if they give us any information here. Destroy Evil. So they're probably the Jeskai control deck, if I had to take a wild guess here. Okay. I guess we can bring back another hasty creature. Go to combat. Attack for 3. The important thing here is to not click through your second main phase. And now we'll cast Dread Return targeting the Lotleth Giant. And our opponent will lose some life. Boom! Turn 2. This deck is so sweet. I think it's really underrated. Alright, so we want Pyroblast. We want the Ridgeline. So one thing about a lot of the Jeskai control decks in my experience is that they don't have a ton of graveyard hate. So I think I'm going to try only 2 Ingot Chewers in this game. You could also try Haunting Misery instead and not doing any of the Ingot Chewers, which is another choice. But I'm going to sideboard a little bit differently here. I'm not going to keep in Haunted Mire. I will still, however, board out the Sticker Goblin and Manamorphose. Maybe I'll keep in 1 Sticker Goblin, or I could bring in 1 Haunting Misery. They are a deck that plays a bunch of Blue Blast in the board, so that's my concern here. But also just keep in the second land. Yeah, let's try this. No lands, but this is a really good hand. I think I'm going to keep it. I mean, we have to find both lands, which is obviously a concern. But this hand has pretty much everything else we want, so risk versus reward. They kept 1 card on top and 1 on the bottom with Preordain. Cabal Ritual. We'll play out a Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. Maybe I should have been more aggressive. I don't know. We'll see how this game goes. But maybe I'm not supposed to keep hands that can't find a land, I guess is what I'm looking for here. They whiffed on the Augur of Bolas. Songs of the Damned. I could try playing the Tinderwall, but if it gets countered, I'd feel like a dummy. And the Lotus Petal is my black source, so I don't know if I actually love that. Instead, I'm going to just discard the Ingot Chewer. If they had a relic, I imagine that they would have played one by now. They play a white source, and they're attacking for 1. Okay. Another Songs of the Damned. Alright, we'll go to cleanup. I am regretting my decision to keep. I think that might have been poor judgment. Ephemery on the Augur of Bolas sort of confirms my thought that they're Jeskai control. I mean, in theory, it could also be Familiars. Preordain. Skirty, Songs of the Damned. Ephemery will come back. The actual keyword ability is Rebound. And the Augur of Bolas will trigger for a 3rd time this game, finding Blue Elemental Blast. They Preordain. So there's also a very, very, very risky line we could take, which is you play the Balustrade Spy acknowledging that you only have 2 lands in your deck and you want to try to mill everything you possibly can. Come on, deck. Another Lotus Petal. Is it going to get better? I guess that's a question that I have here. I kind of want to go for it. I understand that it's greedy, but I don't know. My gut's telling me that now's the time. Exile Simian Spirit Guide will play Rite of Flame. They want to counter it. I will Pyroblast. Rite of Flame. And now we will Cabal Ritual. I mean, the odds we win this are so low. Like, truthfully, very, very low. And now they're going to Ephemery again on the Augur of Bolas. They find Counterspell. Oh, I thought I had 1 more mana here. So I messed up by not playing the Tinderwall. Okay, I'm just going to concede because I'm a dummy. I thought that the Tinderwall didn't matter. I was wrong. Okay, so after that last game, I'm going to try boarding out the Haunted Mire and just go with 1 land. And we'll do a Haunting Misery. Let's try this. Game number 3, we're on the play. Nope. So this is actually really awkward because you have double Ent and you want to bottom one of them. And then you have the Giant that you also want to put on the bottom. Is a 5 better? It's really, this is a mulligan to 5 already. So the question is, are 5 random cards better than this? Really a 4, because you don't want the Dregscape Zombie either. Alright. Not a bad 4. We'll keep this. You put at least one Songs of the Damned on the bottom. I mean, I'm sorry, this is a 5. Put a Simeon on the bottom, I guess. Cycle Street Wraith. Ball Ritual. Alright, pass the turn. So we need to find a way to pull the land out of the deck, and we have to draw into a Spy effect. Our opponent plays Preordain. We draw another Songs of the Damned, we have to pass. Our opponent plays a Mountain, and it is now passing back. Okay. We have 7 cards, we'll pass the turn. They cycle a Lorien Revealed on our end step, finding a snow-covered island. And they just pass. They are not tapping out. We found our Spy effect, which is great. We'll discard a Rite of Flame. They play Plains. Cleansing Wildfire on the Plains. Okay. No indestructible land this time. They grab a 3rd blue source. Draw for turn. It's Rotting Rats. We can just discard that one. That actually helps us out because it turns our Songs of the Damned into +1 mana. They play a Bridge, and they're just passing. They do have double Counterspell mana open, unfortunately. We drew our land. That's huge. That is huge. They're tapping 3 mana here for a Mole Drifter. Okay. This might be our window to try to win. We have 3 cards in the graveyard right now. We discard Augur of Bolas. We drew another Pyroblast. Wow. This might do it. We could beat double interaction here. Okay, so let's sacrifice for black. I need to think this through. 2 mana, 3 mana. Brings me up to 6. This is not enough to win. I need to pass the turn. I shouldn't have played out both Lotus Petals, because if our opponent has Dust to Dust, I'll get really blown out. They bolt me. I go to 15. We'll draw for turn. Simeon Spirit Guide is okay, but not ultimately what we need right now. So I'm going to pass the turn. And our opponent looks like they're going to pass as well. Discards an Augur of Bolas. We draw another Cabal Ritual. Interesting. I think I'm going to discard. And it's going to be the Simeon Spirit Guide, because that makes my Songs of the Damned make more mana. They cycle a Lorien Revealed. They play an island. They still have 7 cards in hand. Unfortunately, I think we might have missed our window this game. Let's see if we can eat out a counterspell here. Rite of Flame. No, we cannot. So that just resolved, huh? They have 7 cards. They've been discarding Augurs this whole time. I think I'm just going to pass. They're making red. They cleansing Wildfire their own land here. They could have gone after my land and they chose not to. Alright, so they have 5 mana open right now. So it's counterspell, 1 mana counterspell. A Dregscape Zombie. I think I'm going to pass. I might be too patient here, but I just don't see a world in which jamming into 5 mana wins for us right now. Discard the zombie. Our opponent still has 7 cards. Our Chaomancer. It's back a Cleansing Wildfire. And a Spy. Okay, I believe that now is our time to try to win. Songs of the Damned. Makes 4 mana. What about a Cabal Ritual? Cabal Ritual again. Float a red mana. Let's try a Balustrade Spy. They counterspell. We will attempt to Pyroblast. Spy. Another counterspell. We'll play Songs of the Damned. And now we'll destroy the evidence on our land. Come on, another counterspell. Muddle the Mixture. I believe we just won. Turn 12. Counter target spell if it's blue. Destroy all of the evidence. Zombie. Zombie. We'll do another zombie. Rotting Rats. I don't think there's any punish here for Rotting Rats. And now we'll go to combat. So it doesn't matter if they block one here. So they'll take 5. I'm only going into combat to ensure that I have enough creatures to, or enough damage here to win the game. And we'll dread return targeting the Lotleth Giant and flashback. Wow. What a match. I truly cannot believe that I won that game number 3, and we are now 2-0. Game number 1 of this match, we got to showcase the sticker goblin, and we got the W. So we are now 2-0 with 3 matches left. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're on the draw, and well, we're going to keep. All we need here is a spy effect. We have a Street Wraith the Cycle. We have a way of getting the land out of the deck. I think that this is an acceptable hand. Here we see a turn 1 Great Furnace into Kuldotha Rebirth. They're bringing the pain fast. Okay. A Rite of Flame. We will use our land grant to go get our Haunted Mire, play our land, and pass the turn. We have 6 cards that win the game now. They play Mountain, and attack for 3. We go to 17. Draw for turn. It's another land grant that does not help. I will play a Cinderwall. They either have to waste a Lightning Bolt on this, or I get to block some creatures. Either way, it's a win-win. And they decide to waste a Lightning Bolt. I'm into it. Goblin Bushwhacker. So this is 8 damage coming in now. Okay, they have 2 cards left in their hand. We're going to fall to 9 life. Draw. Another Rite of Flame. So I can make some blockers here. That is a choice. I think I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith though. We go to 7. Another land grant. Disappointing. So if I make blockers, can I realistically win this game? I think the answer might just be no. Instead, I'm going to choose to believe that their hand is nothing, which probably isn't true. It's just, it's the best avenue I have going forward. So I could have gone Sticker Goblin into Dregscape Zombie, using the Simian Spirit Guide as a red source, but then what am I doing the rest of the game? I think it's just a mistake to take that line. Alright, so they're attacking for 4. I am dead to any 3 damage effect here. There they go. Alright, so we have lost game number 1 in a very favorable matchup, but we weren't going to draw it anyway. Okay, so we were actually not going to ever draw it, so bummer. Post board, we want Ingot Chewer. We want the Haunted Ridgeline. Probably don't want Street Wraith versus the burn deck. I do think Sticker Goblin is fine in this matchup. Increased speed. Let's try this. Game number 2 on the play. We have 2 ways of searching out the land, but no initial mana source. I think we have to mulligan. Oh wow. So if I draw the land, this hand just wins. Actually, if I draw the land, this doesn't win. Because the land is the red-green land in post-board games. I think I'm supposed to go to 5. Alright, I don't love this, but we're keeping. Unfortunately, we just have to pass. We're multiple draw steps away from winning. Turn 1 Relic. I mean, I have the Ingot Chewer. We need the land. Instead, we draw a Lotleth Giant. Our opponent plays Great Furnace into Kuldotha Rebirth, keeping that mountain open. We draw the Sticker Goblin. Doesn't help here. Our opponent taps out for a Goblin Bushwhacker. Even if I were to draw Lotus Petal here, it's not going to win the game, unfortunately. So we're going to take 8 down to 12 life. And we did draw Lotus Petal. Unfortunately, it's not going to make black mana for us. A little bit awkward. We will Forest Cycle, grab our Ridgeline, play it, and pass the turn. We're at 12 life. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand. And realistically, we're 2 turns away. So I have to use 1 turn to answer the Relic using our Ingot Chewer, and then I have to top deck a black source so I can play the Songs of the Damned. It's unfortunate because this looks like a match where it's going to be a bad matchup. In my experience, we're actually very good against the mono red deck. It's just, I kind of had 2 suboptimal draws in a row here. And one of the things about Magic, sometimes you just lose and, you know, accept it, move on, that sort of thing. We will exile Lotus Petal. We're at 8 life. We drew another Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, so I'm actually going to exile the Spirit Guide and play Ingot Chewer, so this way I can play Tinderwall as a blocker. We'll stack the Evoke trigger, so that way it destroys the relic before it would go to the graveyard, so that way this is a creature that counts for our win. Interesting, they just let it be destroyed. An odd decision. Play Tinderwall. Pass the turn. They Lightning Bolt me, I'm at 5 life, they have 3 cards in hand. And another Lightning Bolt. We are dead. I'm not going to make our opponent attack us. We died. So we are now 2-1. What a bummer. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Let's try to do better. That was not a great showing in match number 3. Here we've opened up the Lotleth Giant, which is a little bit awkward. I mean, not the end of the world. We do have the Rotting Rats, but we don't have a way to thin the deck. We don't have the Oops effect. We will mulligan. So here we have a way of, pulling the land out with the Generous Ent. What we're lacking is the Oops effect, but I think that this is a keep regardless. We will bottom the Dregscape Zombie. Alright, so we will bottom the Zombie, and our opponent appears to be ready. So let's start off by, I think we want to Lotus Petal Generous Ent, so that way we don't accidentally draw the land off of Street Wraith. Cycle the Generous Ent. We'll play the Haunted Mire, and just pass the turn. We don't need to cycle Street Wraith right now. Looks like we're facing Affinity. Recently, they've been Azorius based. We draw Rite of Flame. Cycle the Street Wraith. We drew Land Grant. Terrible draw after we've already searched out our land. Cycle Street Wraith into a Lotus Petal. We will pass. Ancient Den, Frogmite. They now have Metallic Rebuke available. Mirror Enforcer. Come on, deck. Songs of the Damned. Unfortunately, I think we have to pass here. We're at 16. We're very close to being dead to an All That Glitters. Maybe I was supposed to cycle the Manamorphose that turn. Alright, I am actually dead to an All That Glitters now. They have 3 cards in hand. They attack for 8. I go to 8, so this is our last turn. Moon Circuit Hacker, that's fine. They replay the Frogmite. They have 3 cards in hand. Ornithopter, 2 cards left. So we still have to worry about Metallic Rebuke here. There's our Oops effect, okay. I don't know if we have enough resources to win here, but we have to do something. Rite of Flame. Let's attempt a Manamorphose. Currently, I don't have enough mana to win. I'm actually 1 short, I believe. We will do red, red. We drew another Destroy the Evidence. I don't think we can win. So Dark Ritual brings me up to 5. Songs of the Damned brings me up to 7. We could bring back 2 creatures, but that's not enough to Dread Return. We are 1 mana short, assuming our opponent has nothing in hand. Alright, what a bummer. We are down a game to Affinity. Okay, so looking over some deck lists on MTG Goldfish, it looks like most of these decks are not playing any sort of like Graveyard Hate. At least the winning deck lists and challenges are not. There was one local event that got reported that had some Graveyard Hate in it, but I'm thinking that maybe we don't want to sideboard here at all. They are bringing in Fortify Blue Blast, which could be good against our name sticker Goblin, but I think we just want to resubmit. Try it again. Sure, this hand's a little weird. Like, we have the Land Grant and a Spy, which is tremendous. I'm not going to complain. But we have 2 dead cards in it between Generous Ent and the Dregscape Zombie as well. Not really a huge fan of those. Alright, so we'll start off this game by playing our Land Grant. Pass the turn. Island into Ginger Brute. We'll take 1. Come on, Dark Ritual. Another destroy. I guess it's another Oops effect. We'll play Tinderwall. Pass the turn. I cannot block their Ginger Brute. They play a land. Come on, deck. So Dark Ritual wins the game here. Cabal Ritual does not. Lotus Petal. That's the same as drawing a Cabal Ritual, I believe. So we have 5 mana. 5 mana does not win. We need 6 mana with the Spy. I could try to cycle the Manamorphose, but if we miss, I'm going to feel like a dummy. Okay, let's cycle the Manamorphose. I feel like with them being tapped out, this is a good window. Red, black. Oh my. Ah, I got punished. If I make green, I didn't need to make red either because we had the Tinderwall. I'll just play a zombie here. Pass the turn. Playing out a zombie does lower the amount of mana I need to win. We only need to make 5 now. Oh, that's really unfortunate though. And now they have Metallic Rebuke open. Cabal Ritual. We'll just play another Tinderwall. Pass the turn. Good attack. Do it. I am the beatdown. That's right, you didn't want to block because you have Metallic Rebuke in your hand. They play an Ancient Den. Mire Enforcer. They still have Metallic Rebuke open here. Draw for turn. It's Dark Ritual. That definitely beats Metallic Rebuke. Let's try a Dark Ritual. How would I like to do this? Cycle Generous Ent. Oh no, there's nothing in my graveyard. Or in my deck, whatever. Sacrifice for red. Sacrifice for red. We will cast a Cabal Ritual. Cast another Cabal Ritual. And now we'll play Spy. Your Metallic Rebuke does nothing here. Target ourselves. Unearth the zombie. And now we will dread return on the Lotleth Giant. And now they'll lose a bunch of life, and we will head on over to game number 3. Okay, so one of the things about this deck is, like, we saw how good Pyroblast was in the first 2 matches, but we also saw how Wooded Ridgeline can be a little bit awkward. And that's one of the downsides of, like, swapping in between your lands in between games. We saw that in the previous match that we lost, where I didn't have a black source to get with my lands. So this deck does have some tension in it, but I still think that this is an incredibly powerful deck for Pauper. I'm a really big fan of it. Game number 3, we're on the draw, and we have essentially a mulligan to 5 already with double Generous Ent and a land grant. I don't think you're actually supposed to keep this, so let's go to 6. And this is so much better than the 7. We'll bottom the land grant because we already have the Haunted Mire in hand. Let's go. Turn 1 Ancient Den into Thraben Inspector. Lotus Petal. This is not a turn 1, but this could be a turn 2. They play a Seat, Springleaf Drum, Frogmite, 3 cards in hand. I think we would need to draw a Dark Ritual or a Cabal Ritual in order for this to be a turn 2. They play a Ginger Brute with 2 cards left in hand. They were pretty hesitant about tapping the Springleaf Drum based on their pauses, but I think that they might have an interactive piece with their last card in hand. And I mean, they only have the 1, so if we can rip a Dark Ritual or a Cabal Ritual here, it's going to be the game. Alright, anything that's +1 mana wins. Draw. That does not win. That is not +1 mana. So we'll play a Tinderwall, and we have to pass. Another Ginger Brute, they have 1 card left. We'll go to blocks and block the Frogmite, taking 8 damage down to 10. Okay, so their last card was a Moon Circuit Hacker, so they have a random card now. A random card plus whatever they returned and didn't replay. They're just dead now. Alright, so exile Simian Spirit Guide. We'll Manamorphose. I believe they returned another Ginger Brute. Black, the Rotting Rats. Sacrifice the Tinderwall. We'll play Spy. Target ourselves. We'll play Lotus Petal. Songs of the Dam for roughly 1 million mana. Songs of the Dam for about 1 million more mana. We'll hard cast a Rotting Rats. Our opponent can discard a card. They discard the Ginger Brute. We will bring back the Dregscape Zombies. And now we'll go to combat because I am the beatdown. Don't you forget it. Bryant Cook, aggro player. Alright, so they're going to take 6, and now we will dread return on the Lotleth Giant. I feel like I've been saying that card's Lotleth Troll. I feel like I've said throughout this league that is not accurate. And now the Giant comes back. They're at -7. We have 1 match number 3, 1 match left to go. Let's go get it. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The fifth and final match, we're on the play. This is pretty good if we can find the land. Our opponent's been on the blue-white affinity deck, so I'm hoping they're still on that deck today. Let's cycle Street Wraith. We have 8 cards that we really want to find here. Okay, Dark Ritual is a pretty good one. Cycle the Street Wraith. Unfortunately, we have to pass. Mountain. Okay, so they're on red. Let's get revenge for our loss. Cabal Ritual. I think I'm actually just going to move to discard and get rid of this Tinder Wall. We don't need it. Reckless Impulse. They reveal a few lands. We have 8 cards that win the game off the top. Let's see one. Dark Ritual is not it. Okay. I guess I could have played out the Lotus Petal. Discard the Cabal Ritual. Like, we just... I mean, we don't need any of these rituals at this point. We need exactly something that takes out the land and we just win. They reveal a Goblin Bushwhacker. So they can... play the Goblin Bushwhacker kicked. I'll go to 11. They have 4 cards next turn with 2 damage in play. So I'm dead to like triple bolt effect. We drew the Giant. It's interesting. I mean, I could hardcast the Giant here. So the question would be like, how many cards do we actually flip? This might be a wild thing, but I think I'm actually going to try here. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Play Spy. Please be good to me here. Come on, land on the bottom. 28 cards. So we did not flip the land on the bottom. We'll play Songs of the Damned for 10 mana. Remove a Simian Spirit Guide. We'll hardcast the Giant. They'll lose some life. They're at 10. Zombie. Zombie. I must have miscounted. I thought that we had the Rotting Rats in there, but we don't. So I didn't need to exile the Spirit Guide. So that was my bad. Not that I think the Spirit Guide matters a whole lot, but we didn't need to do that. So they're at 4. And we have a Spy and a Giant. Another Bushwhacker and a Voldaren Epicure. They play the Epicure, we go to 9. And a Rebirth. Okay. They have 2 cards in hand. Tinderwall. I mean, how we win this is that the Spy somehow attacks twice. And I don't die. So... we need to hope that their last... oh, I'm dead to the Bushwhacker. I'm dead to the Bushwhacker. That's right. Okay. So we almost won off the insane line. We just didn't. Off to sideboarding. Ingot Chewer comes in. Get rid of the Mire and then Street Wraiths. It's a clean swap. Let's try this. On the play. I mean, we don't have an initial mana source. Otherwise, this hand is very good. I want to keep it, it's just we're not allowed to. This seems fine. We'll put the Dregscape on the bottom. We'll land grant. Gets the Wooded Ridgeline. We'll play it and pass. So the choke point this game is that we don't have black. Actually, we need a number of black. So we need like a black for Destroy the Evidence, and then we have to find Songs of the Damned. They have turn 1 Relic. We will pass. They get our land grant. So I could have played Sticker Goblin there into Destroy the Evidence, but once again, we just don't have the black mana to win at this stage of the game. Voldaren Epicure, and they pass. Another Rite of Flame. Send it back. Another Relic. Okay. Probably not winning anymore. It's such a bummer, because I don't think that this is actually that bad of a matchup, but it's not how this league went. Okay, so we're going to take 1. They have 4 cards in hand. We drew the first Chewer. Target a Relic. And then we'll pass the turn. Ingot Chewer gets exiled to the other Relic. They play Synthesizer. Reckless Impulse. They're also playing Sticker Goblin tonight. How about that? Okay, I go to 16. They have 5 cards. Another Ingot Chewer. Alright, is this our spot? Am I supposed to get a little risky here? I don't think so. Like, I would have to draw, like, Dark Ritual off the Manamorphose in order to win this. Destroy the relic. Yeah, I just don't have the black mana to win here. They play Sticker Goblin. Makes 5 mana. Kuldotha Rebirth. They play a Mountain for turn. Voldaren Epicure. 3 mana floating with a Ren's Resolve in Exile. I go to 9. I'm dead to a Goblin Bushwhacker, and they had one. That'll do. Alright, I want to see the next card. So we're going to go back. Draw off the Manamorphose. Cabal Ritual. Would that have done it? So, 1 card in graveyard. 2, 3, 4, 5. Sticker Goblin. I guess if I had gone for it last turn, it would have worked. Assuming that Sticker Goblin makes 5 mana. Okay. Maybe that's on me. Maybe I was supposed to push the envelope on Cabal Ritual there. We're trying to spike a Cabal Ritual versus the red deck that we knew had a Sticker Goblin coming. So that one might be my own fault. So we finished with a 3-2. What did I think of this deck list? I think Sticker Goblin was interesting. It might be a little more clunky than I expected. So would I play this again? Absolutely. Would I play Sticker Goblin again? Probably, but I'd also look at going back to something closer to what I played in the previous league, which is Wild Cantor. It's just smaller. I think you're able to do a little bit more off it. And then, like, I wasn't impressed with Troll of Khazad-dûm last time, but there was a number of games here where I struggled to pull the land out of the deck, and I think that maybe we do want just one more of those effects. I could be wrong. It only gets the Haunted Mire. It does not get Haunted Ridgeline. So keep that in mind. So that is why I wanted to cut it tonight, because it doesn't work well in post-board games. But maybe this just is the way. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I would greatly appreciate that. What did you think of Sticker Goblin? What do you think the final list should look like? Thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe, because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.